So speaking of Florida, I mean, they're slowly getting back on track. Like their quarterback's playing good football right now. So I said I had an upset alert last week, which I was 2 points away from. So I got Georgia on upset alert this week.
All About the Balls podcast with Mark Davis, Chris Meinhardt, Luke Rule, and Nick the Doc Skirkowitz. Welcome to All About the Balls podcast. I'm Mark Davis in the Sack House with the one and only, sponsored by Buc-ee's, Luke Rule. Luke, how are you doing? We're about to talk college football. UCF, big game against West Virginia. You guys were almost on track last week. I know, heartbreaking loss, but hey, you guys put up a hell of a fight against the Oklahoma Sooners in Oklahoma.
Yeah, I mean, can't fault the team. We gave everything we had at them. Played a good game. Team definitely looked different with John Rice Plumlee playing a quarterback. We were 21-point underdogs coming into that game and lost by 2. Sucks to lose it on a 2-point conversion. Well, and not be able to tie it on 2-point conversion. Who knows what would happen from there? But yeah, sucks to lose that game. But it gives confidence rolling in for the rest of the year that we can still compete.
Indeed, it does. And Texas is about to kind of go through that same struggle you guys just went through. Our quarterback, Quinn Ewers, is going to be out. He's week to week with a grade 2 AC sprain in his shoulder. He got hurt he was trying to run somebody over, essentially. I mean, hey, respect the effort there. Way to fucking try and put the guy on his ass. But not something that you want to see from your quarterback there. And, he gets hurt. We do beat Houston 31-24, but now we're facing BYU and a team that historically Texas had a hard time against. We are 1-4 all time against BYU, 1-2 at home against BYU as well. Yeah. So this is a different Texas team than they were in 2013 and 2014, that's for sure. But we'll see what we can do with Malik Murphy. Also Arch Manning too, Luke, projected to maybe get some game time too.
Yeah, I saw Arch Manning was splitting first team reps this week. So I mean, he may get some playing time too. I think they're just trying to have him ready to go. But I mean, BYU is looking like a good team this year, so they're solid.
Yeah, they are 5-0. Or I'm sorry, they are 5-2 on the season, 2-2 against the conference. So out of the 4 new teams that came to the Big 12, they definitely are the better of the 4. I mean, just for the year. So, BYU, they want to beat Texas before Texas leaves the conference to go to the, superior SEC, in quotations or quotes. So, but yeah, Luke, so nothing really too crazy to talk about from the past week and coming up this weekend. But, the big game that was supposed to be a decent game, I thought was kind of boring, was the Ohio State and Penn State game. But Ohio State did win 20-12 at home. So I guess this opens the door now. Is Penn State's, set to play Michigan, and we'll talk about their scandal. But Ohio State, they've beaten now the Irish and Penn State, 2 tough defenses. Is the door right there for Ohio State? Are we kind of sold on them that they can be a favorite to win this championship, actually?
I mean, yeah, I mean, obviously they're in the running for it. I mean, they have one of the tougher schedules out of the top teams this year so far. That they played how many ranked matchups have they had already, and they won them all. So I mean, their football hasn't been I haven't been excited watching any of their games, but they're winning, so that's what matters in the end. You got to win the games, but they haven't been super impressive wins, but they're playing tougher schedules than most other teams, especially like Michigan. I don't think Michigan's really played a ranked team yet this season.
No, they haven't. No, I mean, And I guess it's easy, too, with Kyle McCord when you have 22 completions. Not a bad game, 22 of 35 for 286 and a touchdown. But, hey, half of your completions, literally 11, went to Marvin Harrison Jr. So it's easy when you have Marvin Harrison out there. Just get him fucking involved. And, they didn't have their running back or their second receiver. So Ohio State was handicapped a little bit there. They were handcuffed with the talent they have out there. So they did what they had to do. They played great defense over Penn State's offense. Penn State didn't look like they knew how to play offense. So I guess this is the same old Penn State that we're used to, where they're good all year and then they run into Michigan and Ohio State, and here they are.
Yeah, they'll be a mid team this year. I mean, probably ranked around 15 to 20 right into this. After they take 2 losses.
And like you said, Ohio State, they have faced a pretty tough schedule. Yeah, they had the Irish and they had already, Penn State, but now they're going to kind of chill out the rest of the year. They have an easy schedule all the way leading up until Michigan at Ann Arbor when they're playing them. So that's going to probably be the biggest game of the year. Of course, it usually is when these two teams
Yeah,
are
I'm
good.
sure both teams are coming in both undefeated too. So it's make or break for both these teams to make the playoffs.
Yeah, but I'm very not confident of my because I had Ohio State in the playoffs this year. I believe I had them as my 4 seed. I think I had USC 2. No, I had them as the 3. I think I had Clemson as the 4.
That USC one. That one's
Yeah, the
flawed.
USC one. Hey, I'll be the first to admit it. I was wrong on
That one's
USC,
flawed.
man. Yeah, they got fucked this year. Um, yeah, USC. I mean, I figured it was gonna be on the offense, but man, even the offense is struggling this year. The last couple games too. So
Yeah, and
not
that
something like
Pac-12 conference is looking pretty good so far. So USC still has to play Oregon and Washington.
yes, and UCLA. UCLA is not no
Yeah,
pushover neither. So I said last episode that I can see 3 to 4 losses on their schedule after they lost the Irish, and they're already at 2. So Oregon's no pushover, and the Huskies had a bad game this past weekend. They were lucky to survive. Not just them. Like I said, Oklahoma was lucky to survive against you guys. Texas was lucky to survive against Houston. So some of these top teams were very fortunate to get out with a win, essentially. But yeah, I'm very impressed with Ohio State. I mean, not offensively, they haven't been the juggernaut against these top defenses, but when you have a top defense of your own, you're going to do what you have to do, and you're going to win games. And I think the Big Ten, it comes down to the winner of Michigan, Ohio State. Whoever wins that game will go in and beat either Iowa or whoever the hell's in the Big Ten. Iowa got screwed too, by the way, against
yeah.
Minnesota. So
This year, I don't think there's gonna be any of the two teams from the same conference in the top four. It just the way the games have been falling this year, it doesn't look like it's gonna be possible to have two teams
yeah,
from the same conference.
and it looks like it's going to come down to Iowa and Wisconsin. I mean, actually, they did play each other this year. Iowa did win, so Wisconsin's in kind of a must-win game here. If they win, they're 6-2 in the conference against Ohio State. So they need to win, or you're going to probably see Iowa in the. It's either be Iowa or Wisconsin for the Big Ten
Should have been just Iowa
West.
straight out, but they got fucking screwed.
Yeah, they got hosed on that. That was not.
Yeah.
I know we talked about it a couple days ago. That was not a fucking flag. It wasn't. It wasn't even close to being like a fake fair catch or fair
Yeah.
catch, whatever you want to call it. So,
Yeah,
but
they didn't even call it until after the play. That's just fucking wild to me. That's the worst refereeing call I've seen out of even last week, and there's a lot of bad ones.
yeah, there's a lot of bad ones. That was definitely the worst one. But no, and back to Penn State though, I am very disappointed. I was hoping to see Penn State kind of make a chance to win this Big Ten. I mean, they still have a shot. Like if they beat Michigan and then Michigan beats Ohio State, it's a three-way tie, and then I don't know who would win the tiebreaker. But it's just a shame. This has probably been the most talented offense that they've had in years, and they're not letting this talented quarterback Drew Allar just do his thing. I know he had a lot of passes, but it's more like short passes. They're not allowing him to go down the field. Like let him do what he has to do. Fucking put Ohio State on their back heels and see if they can break a little bit.
Yeah, I mean their schedule. Like the only tough game they really have is Michigan, maybe Maryland too. Maryland's a little frisky. They got kind of deflated after that Ohio State loss, but still a frisky team. But yeah, Michigan, they have a noon kickoff game too. It's interesting. A
Big noon
matchup like
kickoff.
that.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of
Yeah,
that. Like, because that's Penn State. That should be a whiteout. That's the game I was talking about. That should be the whiteout game. And
they already did their whiteout. They did their whiteout. I think they did it against Iowa.
I mean, you could have a whiteout. Anytime it's a night game, it's going to be a whiteout. It's just you put like that type of magnitude of a game, like Michigan, Penn State, a rivalry game. That should be a night game, not Fox. Big noon kickoff. I get it. Like they want the deal. They want Gus Johnson, and I
It's
forgot
like
his name.
big
Yeah,
noon kickoffs, Big Ten shit.
yeah, and they still do the Big 12 too for right now as well. So, but it's mainly the Big 10 that you see up there. But yeah, disappointing Penn State's effort. Their defense. I mean, 20 points isn't bad. Like you might have given up some yards, but 20 points, man, you should be able to win with an offense that. I mean, all I do is just get 3 touchdowns. It's not too hard, but I guess it's too hard for them.
Yeah, I mean it's crazy, but I mean another big game is gonna be the Utah and Oregon game this week. It's where college game day is going. Biggest game of the week, it looks like.
Yeah, and
Potential really good game. Yeah.
losers pretty much out of the Pac-12 title race too. I mean, they each already have a loss in the conference, so the winner stays alive, and the losers, going to be behind, especially with the tiebreaker. The head-to-head's going to go
Mm-hmm.
to that team. With Washington probably going to win out, probably, but yeah, winner this is going to. And these are the last 4 Pac-12 champions too. Utah's won the last 2, and then Oregon the previous 2. So someone's getting knocked out right now here in week 9 of college football.
Yeah. I mean, Utah's coming off a big win against USC last week, so they might be riding high on that. I mean, I'm not super huge on Utah this year. It kind of sucks that Cam Rising's not going to play at all. I'm not sure if he's going to decide to go to the draft or come back another year, get a medical year.
7th year.
Yeah, but it sucks. I love Cam Rising. He looks cool looking dude, plays good football. But
No, yeah,
not seeing him out there.
I'm excited. Like I like watching this Utah team, but like you, Luke, like I can't get behind the offense just because Cameron Rising's not there, the guy that should be the starting quarterback. And hey, maybe if he was there, maybe they beat. I think it was UCLA that they lost to earlier in the year.
Oregon State they lost to. They beat UCLA.
Okay, so yeah, all these teams have beaten each other up besides the Huskies. So it's like I can't keep track of who's beating who, but maybe if he's there, they beat Oregon State. I mean, they are 13th in the nation too. So like I said, they're both playing for the opportunity to get to the Pac-12 championship, to make some noise and be a one-loss Pac-12 champion and maybe find yourself in the playoff. But I expect to be an Oregon game. I just think too much offense from Dan Lanning and Bo Nix, and that defense. Man, that defense is phenomenal. So I think Oregon's going to come out. I don't know what uniform scheme they're picking this week, but
yeah, I don't think they put it out just yet. I think they usually do it on Thursdays. They put out uniforms. Most teams do it on Thursdays.
You're usually quick to post that Oregon uniforms in the chat.
They look pretty good.
Oh, dude, their
They
uniforms are yeah, the uniforms are always good. But I think just too much Bo Nix in this offense. It's just gonna be the difference maker of the Oregon Ducks this year. I do think that we're on course to see a rematch in the Pac-12 title game of Oregon and the Washington Huskies. So I think Oregon runs their table and gets the Pac-12 championship, and it starts this week with a tough Utes in Utah.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, Oregon's I think the more complete team, better offense, better quarterback behind the center, and a good defense, and so I mean, Utah could pull off the upset. I could see it happening. Wouldn't be too surprised, but yeah, I think the Pac-12 is going to be between Oregon and Washington.
I mean, Oregon is literally the number 1 ranked offense in college football with yards per game. Utah is up there in total defense. It looks like they're hovering just around the top 10, maybe outside the top 10. So 1 or 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Yeah, they're just outside like top. They're around the top 15. So it could be a low scoring game, but it could be similar to it could be similar to like the Utah or the Oregon Washington game, maybe like low 30s, maybe high 20s.
Yeah, it'll definitely be one of the games in my multi-view sitting at home. It'll be in there.
To be honest with this week, it might be the only game on my TV for that window. No, because Florida plays Georgia, so never mind. I'm gonna have to have Florida Georgia.
Yeah, gotta have Florida Georgia in there. They don't kick off that early.
Shit. They play at 3:30, same time as 3:30 Eastern.
Yeah,
and Texas plays BYU, so I'm probably I'll probably have the Texas BYU game up there. I'll probably have the Georgia Florida game, Oregon Utah, and I'll probably end up putting hopefully Duke and Louisville makes that multi-screen. Hopefully YouTube puts a good 4 games together.
Yeah, usually they screw you on it. You have 4 games you want to watch, and they just won't have that combination.
They'll like 2 or 3 of them, but not the 4th one that I need.
Yeah, YouTube TV needs to fix that. We gotta pick our own games. Like, we're paying all this money for this shit, and let me pick my games.
There are rumors where they are gonna start that up. So it would be good because if the 4 games I could pick for that 3:30 window, like I said, of course Texas BYU it's my team, and the sound's gonna be on that for sure. And then Georgia Florida, just because when I'm on Facebook, I need to know what's going on because people are dog shitting each other with the Gators. I need to know why they're dog shitting the Florida Gators. I think it's going to be a blowout.
So speaking of Florida, I mean, they're slowly getting back on track. Like, their quarterback's playing good football right now. So I said I had an upset alert last week, which I was 2 points away from. So I got Georgia on upset alert this week with going against Florida.
I mean, Florida did squeak by with a 2-point win over South Carolina. Yeah, they are riding a 2-game winning streak. They beat Vandy, and they following that they lost to Kentucky. Pretty big game or pretty big blowout there. But
Yeah.
no, I don't know. I'm just not sold on the Gators defense. I think Georgia, they're still a pretty good offensive juggernaut. Yeah, they're not Oregon or the Huskies, but they're no slouches. And I think Georgia's going to go into Jacksonville in the Jaguar Stadium, and I think maybe the first half might be close, but I think Georgia pulls away. And I think it's going to be, I think that spread 14.5. I'm thinking 17 points probably is going to be the score.
I don't know. We'll see. I mean, out of some of these games this week, I think Georgia could be on upset alert, and this Florida team's gonna. This will be probably the hardest. Them and Florida State are the two games they play the toughest. Maybe LSU too. Man, Florida's got a tough schedule to finish the year off.
God, their last 3 games are brutal, man. LSU, Missouri, and Florida State.
Yeah, and they got then Georgia and Arkansas too. Arkansas, I mean, bad record, but they still have a decent team ish.
K. Jefferson's a respectable quarterback. It's just can they get a win?
They just can't. They can't put wins together.
But damn, they have to play back to back on the road. LSU, Missouri. God, that's a brutal in November, and then obviously you're at home against Florida State, so that's a rivalry game.
Yeah, but that's 2 hours, 2 hour drive difference for me. So it'd be a lot of gardening gold in that Florida in the swamp.
God, man, no, I'm pulling for Florida this week. Don't get me wrong. I would love for the Gators to win because
just mess up all these the polls.
Chaos. I mean that's that. I mean that's really what I keep telling you. I need chaos. I need a little bit. I just need a little bit of chaos. I don't need like every team to lose. I just need a couple teams to lose.
How far does Georgia fall if they lose? Like Georgia hasn't really played anybody yet.
So are we?
So if they lose.
Well, this is if they lose too, it's going right into the playoff for the first rankings for playoffs too. So
yeah,
what would the committee think? I mean, are we saying like the rest of the teams inside the top 20 or the top 7 or the top 10 win, or like is that how we're doing? Because Alabama doesn't play this week, so they can't go any like they can't lose. So I mean, you have Georgia at 1, Michigan at 2. So let's just say Michigan, Ohio State, Florida State, Washington, and Oklahoma and Texas win. And let's say and Oregon beats Utah. Yeah. Oregon probably will jump Texas just because they're playing Utah, unless Texas, like as we said last night to each other, but Texas would have to beat the shit out of BYU for them to probably stay above Oregon. I think Georgia in the initial playoff rankings could fall outside the top 5, top 6 even.
Yeah, they could fall to like 7, 8. Maybe 9 with a loss. They have one ranked matchup that they played this season, and it's against Kentucky.
Yeah.
So
I mean, how much of the committee
they blew Kentucky out, but other than that, they nothing's been impressive with Georgia. Yeah, they're just winning games.
Well, let's talk about that. Let's do our. I know we were going to save it. I know we're out of order. We're just winging it, just me and you tonight.
Yeah.
So like
riding
playoff rankings, right? You know, you have that top 6. You know, you have your first 4, and then you have your first 2 out, whatever. So let's just say hypothetical that Georgia loses and Oregon beats Utah and the rest stay the same where they're at. I mean, in that case, like no disrespect towards Georgia, and this isn't to toot my own horn. I think Georgia should be below Texas. And the reason is because we have a respectable top 10 win at Alabama. I mean, all the other teams, Michigan hasn't played anybody, but they have not been in close games. So, like, I get it. They haven't played anybody. Ohio State's beaten two top 10 schools. Ohio State or Florida State, they beat LSU week 1. They did beat Clemson, still respectable win. They beat Duke as well.
Too.
Yeah, beat
who's
Duke
also
as
ranked.
well. We know the Huskies beat Oregon. I mean, that was a top 10 game, and then Oklahoma beat Texas. So, and Oregon beats Utah, and like all the other teams have more respectable wins, and the fact that they haven't all played each other, so like head to head wouldn't be a factor at that point. So it would be based on like the eye test and the strength of schedule, and I think that all that adds up to Georgia being below the rest of the teams.
Yeah, I think if they lose to Florida, it is just going to fucking ruin their season.
They would have to win the SEC championship with 1 loss, and then that does not guarantee them still a shot in the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean,
it just depends on where they start them at.
And anything can happen with the SEC championship too. What if LSU beats Alabama? It's just going to mix everything up.
And the problem is LSU's not going to probably get in with 2 losses if every other. So this is that dilemma that one of my coworkers in my office were talking about. So like the playoff committee's been consistent throughout their little short tenure since 2014. So the only other time that we looked it up where a 2-loss Power 5 conference, which was Ohio State, did not get in, was the year that it was the 2017 season, so 2018 playoffs. Georgia was the SEC champion. Bama didn't play. That was the year that UCF claims their natty champ. So Alabama did not play the SEC championship, but they only had 1 loss, and that was to Auburn. And they got in over Ohio State because Ohio State had a couple bad losses. They did win the Big Ten, though, with 2 losses, but they put that 1-loss non-champion in. So that could be the same situation for LSU. They have 2 losses, but there's like 6 or 7 teams in front of them that have 1 loss. They're probably not putting LSU in. But it hurts the SEC.
Yeah. Yeah. These playoff polls could get pretty wild if a couple games go different ways than what's projected.
And that's all it would take, honestly, for Texas. If Georgia loses to this week and then LSU beats them and they have 2 losses, LSU goes on and runs the table, and Texas beats Oklahoma, Texas gets in. If we win out, we have to win out, obviously. We can't just lose the game as well and then beat Oklahoma later on. We have to be 12-1. That opens the door for us. So that's something I would need to happen. I would need some little bit of chaos. And the SEC helping Texas get in would be great because us joining the SEC, so open the door for us. But no, man, yeah, the playoffs are. I think it's gonna be an interesting November and December. I'm really excited to see how this unfolds.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like I'm going to predict there's going to be a lot of hurt feelings about the first playoff polls too, because I think they're going to mix it up a little bit from what the AP polls are. I haven't really agreed with the AP polls the last probably few weeks. I mean, there's always some teams that I disagreed with where their rankings are, but I mean, hopefully the college playoff polls get it corrected. I mean, I think they take more time to look at it than the AP polls. The AP polls literally come out the next day. They're just kind of like, this team won, they stay. This team lost, they fall down. But I think the playoff polls go into a little more detail, like, how'd that team lose and stuff like that.
There's a lot more variables.
And their strength. They look at their strength schedule overall.
Yeah, it's not like the AP where it's like you have a voter that says this, says that, and they're looking at like the playoff committee, which based on what they have said, it's like you said, strength of schedule is a big part of it. How you win, how you lose is part of it. Head-to-head is part of it. Like we haven't seen a lot of head-to-heads because a lot of the head-to-heads are conference head-to-heads. There's not many situations where you have 2 out-of-conference teams that are still in like around each other. Like they're very similar, like a Texas Alabama. That's the part where how much does now head-to-head play in the factor? I know it does. It has, but how much does that where Alabama's got a couple points ahead of them in strength of schedule, and they will probably throughout the year just because they'll have one more ranked win all year. But how much does that us beating them affect the way that the committee sees it? So which committee member thinks the head-to-head is more important than strength of schedule? Like it's going to be interesting this Halloween night when they release it.
I wish they actually made a TV show you can watch like the arguments, so them like making the polls,
like a war room.
Yeah, just not them just releasing it like after it's already done, but like them just duking it out. That'd be pretty entertaining to watch.
Because they can't release it until they all. It's kind of like court, like like a jury. Until like there's a like a very decisive decision, you can't. They're sitting there waiting. So
I'm sure there's pretty intense arguments going on during it.
Yeah, I mean I'm interested. Like Luke, if you asked me right now, obviously this is with the records the way they are. Georgia, LSU hasn't played Alabama yet, which will come after the first rankings. If you ask me my top 6, I'm going in order: Michigan, Ohio State, Florida State, Georgia, Washington, and Oklahoma as my top 6. So I would have Georgia playing Michigan in the first round and Ohio State playing Florida State. And those would be some fucking good games, I think, too. You get some good competition there.
My top 6 would be damn near identical to that. Just the way what we've seen so far this year. I think Michigan hasn't been in a close game yet. Yeah, they haven't played anybody, and Ohio State's got the better wins out of anybody up there so far. Then Florida State, I mean, they got some ranked wins. They've looked pretty good all season. They've had a couple close games. Then Washington's got their one big win against Oregon. So, and Big 12 is gonna be tough. Like Big 12, I don't think they can lose any more games. Like if Oklahoma loses, it's gonna fuck up Texas' shot to get in too. Texas needs to play
Oklahoma,
an Texas. I think Texas needs to play an undefeated Oklahoma and beat them to make it in. It's gonna be
I
tough.
think I think we can still get in with them losing somewhere else, but yes, it's easier, like you said, to have them undefeated, just because we would still need chaos. Texas is still going to need chaos regardless, so it doesn't matter. We just need someone in the top, like one of the other conferences, to fuck up, and like that's why I'm praying for Florida. I'm really praying for that. But
Go
no,
put your Gator shirt on this weekend.
God, I'm gonna start chomping it up, man. But no, I mean, I was close to putting the Huskies at number 4 too, but they had that close win this past week against, what was it, Arizona or Arizona State. It was one of the Arizona's two shit teams, doesn't matter. But it was after that I was like, yeah, I can't put Georgia below the Huskies.
Not yet.
Not yet. I mean, if you would have asked me before the week, yeah, they would have been above Georgia. But after that, I mean, that also affected Michael Penix's Heisman. You know, it kind of brought everyone into play. Jaden Daniels is still there for LSU. I mean, as long as if he wins out, he has a real shot to win the Heisman. But yeah, like this playoff committee, though, they have some hands.
Yeah, Jane Daniels literally carrying the LSU team. Yeah, he's putting the team on his back at this point because that defense is atrocious.
Unless they play Army.
Yeah, then they play well.
And by the way, Army joined the AAC.
Yeah, I saw that. I think what came out today or yesterday.
Just football, though.
Yeah, just football. I mean, it's good for them. Moving up. I think they were independent before.
I believe so. Yeah, they were one of the
independents. They're independent.
Because the Navy, or no, the Navy's independent too, right?
No, Navy's AAC already.
Air Force is Mountain West. So all the academy schools are finally going to be in a conference, and I mean that somewhat gives some respect.
Not sure if the Citadel is or not.
No, I wasn't even counting
them. They're an academy, military academy, but I think they might be a fucking FCS or something like that.
Air Force, by the way, one leg through of getting that commander's trophy. Beat the hell out of Navy. Well, didn't beat the hell out of them, but our backup beat their backup. Yeah, I mean, our backup QB beat their backup QB, and then Army, Air Force in a week or two. So if we beat Army, Air Force has got the trophy.
And nobody cares about that one, though.
I know.
They only care about the Army Navy game. It's the only one that matters.
Which is funny because Army doesn't ever win the trophy. I think it's usually Navy and
they won.
I think
the last 2 years.
Have they?
I think so.
I saw a stat. Maybe it was Army and Air Force that wins it a lot. Navy doesn't. I know that majority of it's been.
Oh, you're talking about Commanders? You talking about Commanders Cup?
Yeah.
No, I don't know. I was talking specifically Army Navy game.
Yeah, but that game, I just can't. I can't sit there and watch it. Like when I saw the Air Force throw like that 90+ yard pass for a touchdown, I was like, "Holy shit!" I saw it. I watched it because I had it on the TV because of the multi-screen, and I was like, "Holy shit!" Air Force actually threw a pass down the field. So no, but Luke, we talked about Michigan, and let's dive into this. Michigan's going through investigation where apparently it was a former Marine. Apparently, he was buying
or something like that.
Yeah, allegedly, he was buying tickets to a bunch of games throughout the whole Big Ten and wasn't attending any of the games. He was actually, well, he might have attended some of them, but he was actually getting guys to go to the games, and they were recording the signals of the sidelines of the home team, and then obviously giving it back. And yes, we understand stealing signs is what teams do. All sports, baseball, basketball, hockey, football, you steal signs, but usually the legal way is you do it during the game. You know, if I pick up what you're doing, Luke, I should be able to catch on. And then now in the middle of the game, you got to adjust. But I feel it is bullshit if you're doing it because you already get film. You're supposed to already get film for teams, but I feel like if you have to record it, that's illegal. Like, you're using technology that's not given to you that you are pretty much paying on people to go do for you. And it's illegal, and you shouldn't be doing it.
Yeah, but honestly, what do you think really is a good punishment for that? Because I'm not it's kind of hard to tell like, how much that's affecting the games. I think they would have won every game so far, even without that.
But see, that's the whole primetime thing where it's like, oh,
Yeah.
you still got to make the plays. Okay, well, I get it.
Well,
You still have to make
Aaron
the,
Rodgers said the same thing.
but still, but to me,
Yeah.
it's yes, they're not wrong.
So
You have to make the plays. But Luke, if I know, let's say I know that you guys are about to run this play. I know how the linemen are going to block. I know what angles the
yeah,
receivers are going to go at, the running back's going to go at, the quarterback's going to go at. Guess what? That makes it 100 times easier for me to go around the angles you're going at because I know what you're going to do. So I'm already one step ahead of you. It's like chess.
yeah.
I already know what you're going to do. So, yeah, I have to make the play, but you already have an advantage.
Gives you an advantage, but I mean, these teams should probably be mixing up their signals anyways, like week to week or
And they should be,
every now
yeah.
and then. Yeah. I mean, so I think more teams might start doing that now that this is the thing. But honestly, I think this is just Michigan getting caught. I think other teams are out there doing
Oh, yeah.
something like this or similar to because there's not a whole lot of coaches like bashing what Michigan's doing. They're just kind of like saying their piece and just moving on.
I don't
I'm
think
sure
anyone wants to say. I don't think they want to say anything either, just in case it's not true. Then you don't want to be caught also bashing your fellow, like your coaches. Neither.
Yeah, some coaches don't care about doing that. That's Sean
Well,
Payton.
Michigan State almost was. Michigan State was talking about also not playing this past week, like saying they were going to
They probably been
protest.
better off not playing.
Yeah, they got their ass handed to them, and
Yeah.
that was the thing is one of the tickets that was bought was Penn State, Ohio State, and when the investigation started going on, no one showed up for that spot.
Mm-hmm.
So that the ticket holder was supposed to be there. All of a sudden, he's not there or she's not there. So,
yeah,
I mean,
but all right, who's to tell if like Harbaugh's telling this guy to do that or not, or he's doing it like on his own,
yeah,
trying to make his team look good or trying to help the team out. So it's gonna be. I think this investigation might take a little longer than we think it will. I don't think it's gonna be completely done until the season's over. So I don't think any punishment can be imposed until after the season. It's gonna be very tough to like, hey, oh, well, now you're not bowl eligible.
Well, unfortunately, though, you're the head coach, like we said about what was it?
You're responsible for it. Yeah, it's under you, but it's gonna be hard to prove that he was the one directing this.
And by the time you do it, he's going to be in the NFL. He'll pull a Pete Carroll and he'll dip out quick.
Yeah, so
can't punish.
Sit out for a year, then go to the NFL when the right job opens. I think he's been on his way out the last few years, trying to find that NFL job that I think fits him. And just I don't think he's liked any of the vacancies so far because I'm sure he's going to be the first candidate a lot of these NFL teams that need a coach are going to look for.
Well, the Raiders and the Colts were big links to him the last couple of years. But yeah, because the NFL can't punish him for what happened in college, and college can't punish him in the NFL. So that's what like Pete Carroll did. He said he knew he was about to get hammered by the NCAA, and he said, "Sorry, USC, I'm out of here." And he hasn't looked back since.
Yeah, I mean, and guess what? Very successful career in the NFL so far too.
Yeah, he's at a Super Bowl. Well. Yeah, been to a couple Super Bowls, but. Back to that scandal though too. I know like if coaches are really upset too that people are stealing signals and stealing signs, guess what you do? Start putting fucking radios in the goddamn helmet.
Yeah, that's what
voted
Matt
on.
Rule said. Matt Rule said that I think today or yesterday, the day before, he said I don't understand why. Like even some high schools have that where they have the radios in the helmets. He said why can high schools and NFL have this, but college football can't? Just do the same thing the NFL does. It's quarterback and one player on defense. So it's too easy.
Yeah,
these schools have the money for it. They're building these multi-million-dollar fucking athletic facilities. They can put some fucking radios in their helmets. LSU's got fucking air-conditioned helmets over there.
I was watching Get Up too, and they were saying you could also do what they used to do: is either have like a receiver or another position come to the sideline real quick and then go run it in. I mean, it's old school, and that's how it used to be before. I think even the NFL before they had the radios too, like that's what you had to do. You know, you pull them to the side. But yeah, I mean, I get it.
When I played in high school, that's what we did. The quarterback had to run to the sideline every play, which fucking sucks.
Yeah, you're already a little gassed before you have to go do the play.
Yeah. You do your like 25 yards, little run back and forth.
I mean, I get it. It's a bullshit rule probably because, like you said, teams are probably changing their. I mean, I was talking to a buddy this morning or this afternoon, and I said the same thing. It's like baseball. When you have like batting signals and all that, like you should change it up every single week or every single game. You
Yeah,
shouldn't be using the same thing because people are going to catch on. And stealing signals is part of the game. That's to me though. It's like it's doing it within the game. That's where I don't have a problem. Like if I'm smart enough to know as you as a receiver what you're doing and you're tipping off your route because I study the film, that's on you as a receiver or you as a corner, whatever,
yeah,
to do better. But also going out of your way to cheat. And I get every team probably cheats. Texas probably cheats. They're probably cheating right now. Just haven't got caught.
yeah. I mean, I don't think if this even comes out, I don't think the punishment's gonna be too bad. And they might hit the school with a fine, or they might suspend Harbaugh again. But I don't think it's gonna be anything too crazy. I don't think they're gonna take the bowl games away from the kids. It's gonna be tough
And
to do because it's
it
not the kids' fault that this happened.
no, it's not. I don't think they're going to do anything within the year too.
Yeah. So if it happens, they're probably next season. Harbaugh will be gone, so nothing happens then.
Man, I do wish that. Oh, I mean, I know game day might be at Penn State, but I wish game day was at. I wish the Michigan Ohio State game was in Ohio State because those signs that would be in the stands, like the fans or like behind game day, would be awesome to see. And
Oh
um,
yeah,
God, but they're in Ann Arbor this year. But Penn State, if they are in college game day for that game, those signs are going to be epic. So just be ready for those if you're when you're watching college football. Yeah, I mean, I don't think anything's going to truly happen. Like you said, maybe a fine, maybe a year away from the playoffs. But I think Harbaugh will be gone by the time any of that shit happens. He'll just dip out once he's getting any kind of like hint that he's about to get in trouble.
yeah, yeah. He'll finally go back to the NFL, coach his brother again,
The
coach
Harbaugh
against his
Super Bowl
brother.
rematch.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I know. Hey, I'd love to see it. Take
I
him to
think Harbaugh's
NFC
I
game.
think John's 2-0. I think John's 2-0 against them in their career. I know
I
they
don't
played
know.
Thanksgiving. I know they played Thanksgiving night, and then they played the Super Bowl, obviously. Which
Was it the
three?
same year too?
I don't know if it was the same year, but it might have been. I mean, God, that was so long. Like,
It
damn that.
it was only within a couple year period if it happened.
Yeah, so Harbaugh wasn't there like in San Francisco like that long. I mean, he was in there for like a few years because he was there for the Alex Smith days, and then when Smith got
Then
hurt, Kaepernick
then
came in.
Kaepernick, yeah,
Yeah, because Kaepernick was the starter for the Super Bowl, and then the lights went out. Beyonce turned the power off essentially.
yeah. We were dogging them too before that in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, that was it. And the lights go out.
Yeah, they were fucking like 30 minutes, and then we come out flat, but finish the game off somehow. Ooh, that 2013 Ravens team was they're different.
2012, but 2013, yeah, Super Bowl year.
Yeah, the
But
Super Bowl
no,
was in 2013.
yeah. Ray Lewis was like, dude, turn these fucking lights off, dude. I'm about to retire. I'm old as shit. I ain't the same Ray
Yeah,
Lewis I used to be. My body can't be tightened up right now, dude. Like,
yeah. And we had Terrell Suggs, Ed Reed on defense too.
Halati
Haloti
Naga.
Nada.
God,
Yeah,
yep.
that
That was
was a
Tucker
defense right
too.
there.
Young Tucker on this kicker.
Yeah, I think it's his first year,
And then yeah, you
first or
had
second year.
playoff Joe. That was like one of the greatest playoff runs in the NFL's history. I'll give Joe that. I mean that's why he got paid. Was that playoff run right there? That was why he got paid.
Yeah. Oh, we had old Ray Rice in that game.
That was the old Steelers Ravens rivalry back in those time
Yeah,
frame, which was good.
those hard nosed games right there. Roethlisberger and Flacco going at it.
Yeah, the defense is Troy and James Harrison and Ike Taylor and the boys out there. I know Ryan Clark, and then yeah, some good old days back there in the AFC North. That was
Yeah,
some good times to
that was good
watch.
football.
Very
That's
good
when you
football.
actually hit players too.
Yeah, like not like getting this bullshit suspension for the Broncos, Kareem Jackson. I get it. The Commanders hit was really, really bad because he straight up launched himself. But this Packers hit, dude, he hit it with a hit shoulder to shoulder, and like he didn't have time to protect himself. This guy took almost 3 full steps, man. Like, what do you want to do? Maybe
Yeah,
stop fucking running backwards and turn around. Protect
yeah.
yourself a little bit.
It sucks. Like, well, he got appealed, so it's a little bit.
It's
Is
2
it
games
three
now,
games?
yeah.
2 games, yeah.
Yeah, went from 4 to
Because
2.
it's 4 games.
And the safety's job, by the way, is to dislodge ball from player. Dislodge ball from player. That's what I've always been
Yeah,
taught.
I mean, seeing that, I'm surprised they didn't suspend Kyle Hamilton after his hit. He got a
Well,
nice fine for his, and he got ejected, but he
well,
probably didn't suspend him because he got ejected.
they should let Ed Reed in the Hall of Fame, man. He was fucking killing people, so might as well just
That
not even give him his
they,
jacket.
There's different times.
I know that was the good old days when.
That was fucking monster on the defense.
What was it though? Too. Yeah. So you said good teams. Florida State, Luke. That's a good team right now. And just one little last
Yeah,
thing. Are they running away with the ACC? I mean, it sure seems like it.
I mean, I don't see really any competition on the rest of their schedule besides playing at Florida at the end of the year. I mean, that could be a potential upset game because they could be already looking at the playoffs at that point.
Once again, I'll be a
So
Gator fan for that week too. I'll be rooting for the Gators.
yeah, I mean, if Florida State loses that game, they might just not like lose their way out of the playoffs. But yeah, other than that, like maybe Miami's a tough game, in-state game, but it's at Doak, so Florida State. I mean, they're gonna be out there chomping fucking the entire game. Yeah, yeah.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, if I was gonna be home, I mean, I'm gonna be home for Thanksgiving, but if I was going to be there throughout the weekend, I'm leaving the day after Thanksgiving. I would see if Wade want to go hit that Florida State game up. I would think about it. Put some blue and orange on too. I would. I'd wear the blue and orange because, like I said, chaos. I need chaos.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be a good game. I mean, it doesn't matter what the records are for these teams; they're gonna show out. In-state rivalry, pretty nasty rivalry too. We got a lot of friends go both ways with these teams too.
Love Facebook. That's my favorite day. It's like Christmas morning for me for Facebook. Like it's like, all right, I'm getting my breakfast ready. I'm sitting here. I'm about to, make some good food. About to sit down and watch College Game Day, and it's like, dude, fuck Florida State, fuck Florida, dude.
Yeah.
This and it's just going. I'm like, man, there's like no good and no good arguments neither. It's not like someone's bringing good facts to it. And occasionally I'll get in there too because like I'll see a crazy stat, Luke, and I'll sit there like, it doesn't sound right. Like the Virginia, like our buddy, the Virginia Tech fan. I'll look at it and I'll comment in there and be like, hey, the stats say this. I'm just a biased fan. I'm a non-biased fan here. I'm just over here making sure everyone's got their facts checked. But that day I don't get into any chats because it's just too much. I'll get thrown in there and I don't want to get my feelings hurt. So. But no, I think Florida State runs away with the ACC at least for the regular season. Now we'll see maybe if North Carolina, they should still. Well, actually, yeah, because Duke lost. North Carolina should be the other team. Maybe Drake May makes a revenge game, and if Florida State beats Florida, I'm pulling for the North Carolina Tar Heels that week too. I'm putting my little baby blue on and pull for my boy Mac Brown because, like I said, chaos is what I need, Luke. I need chaos.
Yeah, I mean, I think there will be some chaos in this last back half of this college football season.
I agree too.
It happens every year. There's gonna be some major upset that nobody's gonna predict.
I love like the random stats. I don't know if it's still true because I haven't looked at the stats last 2 years with the initial. It's usually like the initial ranking of like number 3 never makes the playoffs. So if you're number 3 coming into that first ranking, it's like, damn, dude, you're fucked. You're not gonna make the playoffs. And yeah, so right now that could be Florida State.
I guess we'll see. I mean, they may not be number 3 coming into the playoff polls either.
Yeah, like I said, it's Halloween night. We only have 2 top 25 matchups this week: Oregon, Utah, and Duke, Louisville. So if the favorites win, it'll be interesting to see how the committee ranks these undefeated teams and these one-loss teams for sure. I mean, like I said, Texas, we have to survive BYU with a backup, potentially 2 quarterbacks playing, Arch Manning and Malik Murphy. So we'll see.
Arch Manning. You guys are going to pull off the Tennessee Titans route and just play 2 quarterbacks.
God, dude, I just want to win, man. I just want to get in there. I think this is also a test to see they might bring Quinn Ewers back. If we win and struggle with our quarterbacks, I think Quinn Ewers might say, fuck it, I'm playing against Kansas State because Kansas State's going to be a tough game. I really do believe that's our toughest matchup left on the calendar. And Kansas State, they're usually no pushovers, so they usually play tough. They might not win, but they're a tough game every single year.
Yeah, so I mean, I guess we'll see. But if Texas is rolling up, Ewers potentially may never come back.
I doubt that because Quinn Ewers has been rolling besides the beginning of Oklahoma game. He's been good, so I don't think that they sit him out just because we've seen Quinn Ewers what he can do especially this year. This year he's
or if you guys drop like 2 games in a row.
Oh yeah. If we drop, I think he's done.
Yeah, if you guys lose, he's probably not going to come back. He'll
I
probably
agree
save
with you.
himself for the draft and
Yeah,
roll
that
out.
one I agree with you. I think that he might also come back next year too, just to maybe improve his draft stock.
Is he a senior this year? I thought he was a
No,
senior.
that no, no. So no, this is his third year. He redshirted his freshman
Oh,
year
okay.
at Ohio State. He can go. He's eligible to go after this year, but he technically can play through his 6th year if he wanted to. He's
I
part of
don't
the
know.
COVID year.
He might be
No,
getting just pushed out at
no, he's
that
not.
point too.
He can't play his 6th year. I'm sorry, he came after COVID, unless they're
Yeah.
counting.
So
Like,
I mean,
yeah,
yeah, he might be getting driven out of Texas too at that point. They may not want him to come back because they have Arch Manning.
yeah. I mean, I'm for one happy he started this year. I was glad that Steve Sarkisian didn't fall for the we spent a lot of money on this kid. We have to play him train. Like I know some fans want it, and some people in Austin did, but I'm glad he stuck to his guns, and I'm glad he went with Quinn Ewers because Quinn Ewers he's been. I mean, he's not like Michael Penix and like these guys good this year, but he's playing good football. He's winning us games.
Yeah.
He's putting us in spots to win. He did put us in a spot to lose against Oklahoma, but he also brought us back and also put us in a spot to win the game at the end. So I'm excited what he's doing for us, and he's a beast. I want him to play, but I need him to be healthy too. So
He'll be playing Sunday somewhere probably, or he'll be a nice career backup, nice Colt McCoy.
put him on the Falcons. Fuck it, put him on the
Hey,
Falcons.
the Falcons probably do better with him.
You
Ritter.
wouldn't have to. Probably don't have to trade up for him neither. If we sneak in the playoffs, we'll be in the late like the 20s area. Draft him right there, and then there's your QB. He knows Bijan.
Probably give him the second round too. He may not be a first round quarterback. There's just so many quarterbacks.
I mean I don't think he will be. I don't think Shador is going to go in the NFL neither. So I think the QBs you're looking at are Penix Jr., Caleb Williams, of course. You're looking at Jaden Daniels, Bo Nix he can come back still too. So, but yeah, Bo Nix, you're looking at
Can
him
Bo Nix can come back?
because of COVID.
I thought he's in year 6, isn't he?
No, he's in year 5 now.
No, whatever. He's played a lot of football.
He played.
He should
Yeah,
go to the draft.
he played 3 years at Auburn, and he played 2. He's on a second year in Oregon.
Damn.
So he could do one more year if he really wanted to. But I think his stock's high right now, so don't want to fuck it up.
Draft.
And he might not be a first round QB neither. He can sneak in the second round as well.
Yeah. Drake May too.
Drake May as well.
Probably
I know some people
draft.
About Jordan Travis. But I mean,
Yeah,
I'm not saying
he. I don't think he's a first round pick either. I think
some of these QBs are going to be more like kind of like a Jordan Love, not drafted that high, but more like, hey, we're going to wait a couple years and then maybe, or I mean, shit, Russell Wilson was a 4th round QB or a 3rd round, one of the two, and he came
Dak
in
was
and
a 3rd rounder too. I think
Dak was 4th. I know that one, but I think
4th.
Russ was 3rd or 4th. But they were supposed to start Matt Flynn in Seattle, and then Russell Wilson had a great preseason.
Brock Purdy's the last pick.
Last pick of the draft, yeah. And one of the receivers they're using was like towards the last pick this year too. Forgot which receiver, but he's from Stanford. So it's like, damn, fucking 49ers just playing anybody they want to. Yeah, I mean, you don't have to be a first round pick. And even if you maybe if you sit 1 year and then like the team that drafts you struggles and they put you in because they're like, fuck it, we have nothing else, and you ball out, then there you are. You're started the second season.
Yeah.
So there's also QBs that sit too. Like,
well, Levis is a 2nd round pick, wasn't he?
Yep, he was the 4th QB taken, and then like, but yeah, there's gonna be a lot of QBs this year that are gonna be. There's also gonna be a lot of teams that may be looking for a quarterback. Atlanta, the Commanders potentially, the Broncos,
the Raiders.
Yeah, I mean, the Cardinals could be getting it. Cardinals, Bears. Cardinals might move on from Kyler Murray. If they have a chance to get Caleb Williams, why the fuck not?
Yeah.
So,
I don't know. I'm not super high on Caleb Williams anymore. I mean, he's kind of fallen off to me. His play on the field hasn't been that great against good defenses. Plus, like I don't think he's got the right attitude for it.
I think the problem is these scouts see him as that prototype quarterback that has all this gifted abilities, and they want him on the team to he's got a high ceiling essentially. I mean,
I don't know. I'm not a scout, so not my my wheelhouse of.
Nick Wright's already.
I've just seen the way he's kind of carried himself the last couple of weeks. when he's losing. And he wants ownership in the team, and he's like, "These are the only teams I'm going to play for." Just it's rubbing me the wrong way.
Nick Wright's got him in the top 10 already for NFL quarterbacks. Hasn't even took a snap. Hasn't even took a snap hasn't even done a preseason snap. He's already top 10.
I saw somebody saying he's the best quarterback since Andrew Luck.
Now, Andrew Luck was the same way, like came from Stanford. Not saying like same way, like Stanford's different than USC. USC has more talent, but like Andrew Luck didn't have like great numbers at Stanford. He had some good numbers though. Didn't have a lot of big wins, but they saw that prototype he was, that ability, and the Colts gave him a chance.
He proved it too. He was very good.
Very good. Sucks that they waited so long to draft offensive line until he was fucking dead essentially, and then had to retire. Not a fan of how he retired, but can't fault him if he thinks he's about to die on the field too.
Yeah, try to give it a go. And he's like, "Yeah, I'm done." If he's done, he's done. I'm like, yeah.
That sucks too because that was the year of RG3 as well, and two talented quarterbacks. I mean, RG3 was talented. It just had injuries plagued him as well earlier than Andrew Luck. Yeah, but
that style of play that he had. I mean, he was taking too many shots. I'm glad RG3 got to hang out on the Ravens, back up Lamar for a little while, give him some wisdom because you don't see Lamar taking these big shots. So I like it. His first couple of years, he was probably playing the RG3 way a little bit, but not nearly as bad.
And I'm glad RG3 had a decent little like beginning of his career because I'm not gonna lie, I think he kills it as a commentator. Calling college football games.
He says some questionable stuff.
He says some wild shit, and they allow it. Was it last year too, where he was it the bowl game or the playoff game? He's about to have a baby, and he just took the fuck off on TV during the simulcast on the I think it was the Fiesta Bowl, or the Fiesta Bowl in Arizona. I thought, I mean, I love I don't know, I love the shit he says and the shit he does. Like I'll give him, he's great.
A lot of it's pretty funny.
Questionable, but Pat McAfee and them are changing the game, so it's like, hey, ESPN's letting it roll without a slide. What was it, the Desmond Howard skit he had a couple weeks ago where which quarterback was it or which player it was that he was saying some questions? Yeah, big Penix energy. Yeah, I was like, yeah, ESPN is wild right now.
Let him fly a little bit. I mean, it's probably bringing the ratings up. I probably wouldn't be watching College Game Day as much if Pat McAfee wasn't on it.
Well, according to The Athletic, he's like a 51%, 49 to 51% disapproval rating. I would love to know the demographic that they are interviewing.
I don't remember rating that. So
I think they're interviewing.
I don't think they asked my opinion on it because he's definitely part of the reason I watch it.
I think that they're interviewing old white guys, like he says, the old whites, the older generation that's stuck in their ways, and they want something that's always been there. They love. They think he's pushing Lee Corso out. Like no disrespect to Lee.
Yeah, I think he's got to be just about done. I mean, he's on it probably half the time at this point, anyways. Like they bring him out for like little segments here and there, but he's just too old at this point. Yeah, he's had great careers. Coaching, playing, commentating, but he's just at that point. He can go back to Lake Mary, Florida, and retire.
I just feel like Pat brings something different. I get it. He's not a college football guru. He's not an expert by any means necessary. And I know he knows
a lot.
He knows a lot. Yeah, he does a lot. He does a lot of studying with the boys. I think Nick Moraldo and Zito are really helping him out. Like, and that's good. That's what your team's there for. You're supposed to help each other out, study a little bit. But he's killing super dogs. He's leading the super dogs pick.
Yeah, I mean, he knows something.
Yeah, I like it. I think he's changing the game. Yeah, it's not even his show. It's not the typical, arguing back and forth. And I actually rather have like guys like that, anyways, than me scream at you, you scream back at me. Like they can have differences and just kind of like talk and just bullshit and laugh and have a good time.
Yeah, I like throwing his show up on ESPN like during the day, just put it in the background, listen to it a little bit.
It was funny, the Ohio State crowd. As soon as he said goodbye, they're like, "Fuck." I was like, "Yeah, I love this crowd." They already knew it.
They have a good time out there.
The pod too. His boys do a show. I mean, I think you would like that. It's on YouTube. They do it once a
Yeah, I've
week.
seen some clips of it here and there, but I don't really have the time to sit there and watch them too much.
It's a different type of show. It's not your sports. I mean, they'll throw sports up there, but it's just random
Mm-hmm.
bullshit they see on the internet, and they just roast it. But no, great show, Luke. I'm good that we could wing it tonight. Some unfortunate things happened, but hey, like I said, we gotta roll with what we get.
Hey, it turned out pretty good. Just a conversation pretty much today. No structure behind it. Just rolling with the flow.
Yeah, roll with it, man. Maybe that's what we'll start doing. I mean, I think with football, like when we actually have games and all that, like picking games too, like the structures, because we want to pick all the games, but recapping games too. Like, I mean, maybe it can be a little more natural flow. I feel like we've gotten better at that. It's just we're still new.
We're still rookies. We're still in our first year.
Shit, we've been doing this since what, April?
Yeah,
the draft.
We're not pros yet.
Not yet. We'll get there. Hey, we're waiting for someone to pick us up, man. You never know. You never know who's listening.
Hey, somebody sponsor us. We'll shout it out.
I'm waiting for the call from Pat one of these days, dude. I'm just waiting.
Hey, start tagging them and shit.
Maybe I should. I'm gonna start tagging them every single fucking thing I do.
Boys in it.
I'm gonna have one negotiation, just like how Pat is with his. The boys come with me. I don't care for fucking grabbing you coffee and we're just interning that way. They're fucking coming. They gotta come. But I wouldn't mind living in Indiana if the money's right.
Yeah. I wouldn't get your hopes up, but yeah.
Yeah, I know. But Luke, great show, man. We can't wait to do this again next week when we come back Monday night and we recap a little bit of the NFL. So good luck to your UCF Knights. Good luck to your Ravens this weekend, man.
Yeah, hopefully pull off some wins. I mean, projected to win both games. Somehow UCF's a favorite.
Well, you're home.
We are home, but we are a 3-point favorite against Wake Forest as of right now. So
West Virginia.
West Virginia. My bad. I was looking at Wake Forest over here on my screen. West Virginia.
Yeah.
West Virginia.
Oh,
Mountain Mama.
I know. That's
we in West Virginia though. They don't come down to the heat in Orlando.
The Sunshine State, right there.
It's still hot down there.
The greatest fucking city in the world, Orlando, Florida.
One of the most visited cities in the country.
Yeah, there's a couple reasons why. One of them is a big ass fucking theme park right there. Not even.
They got a few of them.
They got a few of them. Well, to fucking go through Disney, it's a whole week essentially.
It's the city beautiful.
What is it? Every time we land and you have what is it, Buddy Dyer or whatever, the mayor, he's like, "Welcome to Orlando,
the city beautiful,
city of the beautiful." If you're just leaving, or if you're just coming to hang out, or you're from here, I love it getting in the little fucking train and listening to old Buddy.
Orlando's a different city. It's different.
Florida's a different state in general. So
miss it.
Different breed. I do too.
Yeah,
but can't wait to do this again Monday, Luke. We'll be talking throughout the week, of course. You know, it's what we do during the week. So
can't wait for another exciting week of football, especially NFL. It's been wild. Every week there's some upsets.
Yeah, a lot of upsets. Hopefully, go Gators. That's all I gotta say. But that's Luke Rule. Shout out to you, Chris Gemeinhart. You, Nick the Doc Skirkwins. I'm Mark Davis. It's All About the Balls podcast, and we are out. Thank you for checking out another episode of All About the Balls podcast. We want to thank all of our listeners and supporters of the Sack House. You can listen to the show on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube. And don't forget to subscribe and give us a follow on Twitter and Instagram at the Sack House.